Hello, my name is Brant Hunt. Today is the ninth day of May 2022, and I want to talk to you about what I call a couple of great men. I've done videos of these men before. In the past, I have a couple of books by these people who actually explained their lives and talked about their lives. Um, One here is this particular book here called let's see, Life's Great Discovery, Resonance Frequency Therapy, how it's been kept hidden from the public awareness, how those who run this country keep you in the dark. You should be upset what these people do to you. This must be stopped. Truth must prevail. It must prevail. All falsehood must die. Those who lie should not benefit off those they manipulate with. You see? And I explained some things a little about him. That Royal Raymond Rife was able to do many things with what we call frequency. And so was Harry Hoxsey, who was able to deal with what we call the scourge of cancer during his time also. These men were basically about the same time period. Both were working in different areas. Royal Raymond Rife was a brilliant man because he was able, I don't recall who it was. It might be he actually was favored by what I call the Temkin family. The Temkin family, I think it simply is this, he was a well-off man at that point and wanted to build a racing boat. And somehow they knew each other some way, and someone recommended him. And this guy was a brilliant guy. He was a genius, and he built a boat, a racing boat. He built the engine. He built it himself, folks. He didn't buy it from Chevrolet or Ford and do a few options on it. He designed and built it. Excuse me. And so most are not aware of what this man did. And most want to keep it in the dustbin, so to speak. We were blessed to have two great men over 120 years ago. And what's transpired simply is that they both were destroyed, not only monetarily, but destroyed emotionally with their hearts. They died of a broken hearts, both of them did. But what they were done to. They were trying to help humanity. They were trying to benefit and help mankind in a way to help him to be in better shape physically, healthy. And the organizations such as the American Medical Association chose to destroy Harry Hoxsey. Harry Hoxsey had actually just was using what his grandfather was using, what he discovered, and then also passed down to his dad to help with horses who actually had cancer. And he noticed that what type of herbs they were eating, and they got better. In other words, there were some herbs near the farmland near the fence, and they were eating those particular herbs somehow. And with that, he was able to collect that information and watch it. When Harry Hoxsey's dad was dying, he was pleading with everyone in his family to look into this. And no one really had any interest except Harry Hoxsey and his son. And as far as I know, he was the youngest of all. And the way I understand it, he passed away, but he said, son, never sell this product. Don't sell it. In other words, don't sell it to some medical institution. Don't give it away. Don't even sell it. If you give it away, make a stipulation that simply is not to make money off of it, so to speak. And so Harry Hoxsey did do this. He was in the state of Illinois, I think it is, or is it Iowa, one of those two states. He worked with others. And what happened simply is he began to get in trouble because simply is when you're doing something really well and you're not charging a lot of money, you're just trying to help people. The that type of not gossip, but that word gets around because a lot of people are in desperate situation. And so he was able to heal not only cancer within your body, but also on the outside. Many claim today, that is, these modern day thinkers, that we get cancer from the sun. How could that be, folks? That makes no sense. I believe it has a lot to do with the suntan lotion that people put on. I might be wrong. Don't take my word for that, but I believe that simply since the whole idea of simply is putting on suntan lotion, which is a chemical on your body, and you do know that your skin is your biggest organ in your body. And so what happens simply is when you put something on it, it goes within your body. It goes inside. That's why simply is that if you're messing with pesticides, you may not even breathe it, but if it gets onto your skin, it can actually go into your body and actually have detrimental responses in your life and can kill you. So this whole idea simply is that the sun actually causes that. That's lunatics. That's just and the sad part is people they just agree with what I call those men in white, the men with their white uniforms, so to speak. You see, they have to wear a uniform. You see, as though they're somebody special or have some type of knowledge and they claim to have knowledge. But the problem simply is the knowledge they have simply is this. Most doctors can simply, they don't use the word cure to say they'll make you feel better, such and such. So all they do is simply is if you listen to your body and actually dealing with your body, you actually know there's something wrong with you. You're hurting. Okay. It's just like for a child puts his hand on a stove. Okay. That nerve, he puts his skin on there. That nerve tells him it's hot. And he pulls his skin back in a matter of a few seconds. And says, that hurts. I don't do that again. Okay. So your body is able to determine that. So you can tell when you're hurting, if you've got a sore back, whatever's going on. Now, you can't tell everything, but if you listen closely and pay attention, you do know something's wrong with you. You do know simply that you feel tired. You do notice simply is that you are thirsty. All those type of things. You also have simply is that you're not feeling well in a way, simply you get a cold or whatever you talk about. So these are all the well, what doctors say simply we just get rid of the symptoms. You see that the symptoms are there is a warning. It's just like if you're on a car, you're driving down the road, you see, and you have this red light suddenly come on, engine light, you see it come flashing, and suddenly it no longer flashes, but now it's on red. Well, red is basically get your attention. Green is a completely different color, but red is like, hello, we got a major problem here. And if you continue to run that car, you destroy that motor because either it's a lack of water within the system that it's actually running hot, but more than likely you've got an issue with the oil. You don't have any oil in the engine, so to speak, and it's basically going to freeze up and stop. So that's what they're saying simply is, that's why, you have this little symptoms of that red light. So you have to pull that car off the road and just shut it off, or else you're going to destroy your car, your engine, which is actually, that's what keeps you going. And if you don't have an engine, you don't go anywhere, so to speak. Although the other parts of it, they're actually valuable too. But the point here is that all they're doing is simply is they're just simply giving you some type of drug to make you feel better. And in actuality, most times those drugs they give you don't make you feel better. You feel like you're in another world, so to speak. I've taken some of those drugs in the past, and it's like, oh, I can't even rest. I don't have any pain no more. And now I can't rest. I can't sleep. Or it goes the other extreme. You sleep and you can't get up and wake up, type of thing. So it's two extremes. Everything comes from nature. You see, Hoxie realized that nature has got a tool, and it says in Genesis basically that I have given you all kinds of herbs and foods and seeds to help you with your illnesses. Not just a synopsis of that, and most people are unaware of that. They want a quick fix. You see, Well, how long have you been drinking this type of drink? How long have you been drinking alcohol? How long have you been doing this? Or whatever you're doing that's causing harm to your body. You know, this is examples. And your body simply is like, if you're doing certain things, you have issues and you're not solving that problem. You're getting worse. So Raymond Rife came up with a different idea, and that idea simply was this. He discovered he built his own microscopes, folks. He built them. There was no microscope in the past that could actually look at live bacteria. There is no microscope even today that can look at live bacteria. And when he was able to build this, he was fascinated with this. And with the help of Mr. Timken, with the Timken Bearing Company, he was allowed certain money to help him to discover these things. And Mr. Timken got along with it because, again, he helped his daughter or his wife, I can't remember, one of the two, saved him from cancer. And he's like, yes, whatever, do it, you know. And so I think his building, I think this is located somewhere, I better not say that. I don't know if it's in California or not. Now, Hotsey was actually in Illinois and Iowa, but I think not Tesla, Rife was actually in California. I want to say San Diego area. They destroyed him. And they destroyed him piece by piece. Some government men came in, broke in, and literally came in with, I guess, hammers and sledgehammers that destroyed those microscopes. You see, you got to understand something real quick here, folks. The AMA and the American Cancer Society are not interested in actually curing anybody. They never have been. They don't even use the word cure. These people are phonies. Well, not phonies. They just simply want to, they just want to reap the rewards of money. They're nothing but filled with greed. And their doctors, you have to, in order to practice, the word practice, what does practice mean? It's like you're trying to develop something really, so you don't really know what you're doing all the time. You know, it's just like practicing at softball or baseball or learning how to play football. You practice. It's the same thing. Same thing with law too, folks. You know, I have a practice. I have a law practice, you see. I have a medical practice. I have that's what I do. I practice. Well, obviously, you're practicing. You're most of us are guinea pigs in some ways, aren't we? Think about that. Think about it. Aren't you guinea pigs for them, or rats, so to speak? But you're a human being with a soul and a spirit, you see. So what's transpired simply is that he was able to see live bacteria, and then what he came up with some type of radio equipment. See, it just came along. All this stuff came along. And so he's using radio frequencies at that point and how to use millihertz or kilohertz on particular bacteria and using that signal in order to hone on to those particular bacteria or pathogens, whatever you want to call it, and actually watch them, see how and he eventually came up with the critical frequency that actually killed them. He was able to do that. And there's no Nobel Prize for any of this, folks, for either two of these men. No prize, no nothing, folks. Something sick in this whole world is going on. They give this a quote-unquote peace agreement, not peace Nobel Prize to Obama when his first year is in office. What a joke. And I'm not even in favor of anybody in that area, okay? But I'm just telling you, it's all paid and bought for now. It's a joke. It's not about helping people anymore. That was what Nobel Prize was all about at one time, was actually to look at this great man. He came up with this. He helped people such and such. Or he discovered something. Or he wrote a brilliant book in literature. You know, actually, Solzhenitsyn got a Nobel Prize for literature in his book he wrote, One Life in Ivan Denisovich, I think is how you pronounce it. But anyway, what's happened simply is now we put these people on pedestals. In reality, they haven't really done anything at all. In fact, they're just like paper mache. They're all false. But again, I didn't want to make a long video here, but my encouragement simply is that I've discovered some things. I've known about Raymond Rife for a long time. Okay, I've known about it from 20 years ago. I've known about Harry Hoxsey less than that, probably 8 years, 9 years. So I bought his book about his whole life, such and such. And I noticed Raymond Rife stuff was basically Barry Line is the one who's actually has done all the work since this is on Raymond Roy Rife. If you understood simply his own family could not afford to feed him, and they had to give him to his aunt or a sister or something of that nature in order for him to be educated, such and such, because they couldn't afford to take care of him at the time when that was going on. And I assumed that was family couldn't afford certain things, and what I read. And so this is it. Next thing you know, I know where he's. I think he went to Iowa. Iowa was where he went at. Yes, he went to Iowa, and he also got his master's degree at Iowa also. And then next no, I know he was working somewhere, and somehow he ran into Mr. Temkin, somehow, some way, and was able to cure his wife or sister. It's amazing. And yet no one knows who these people are. And it's really wild when you think about this. There are people out there in the drug deal, such and such. They're spending tons and tons of money doing research, such and such, and they're not any nearer than they were probably 50 years ago. In fact, why are we doing the same old thing in the cancer situation with simply, oh yeah, we have to use radiation, chemotherapy, or surgery and cut it all out? And it's kind of brutal. All three of them are brutal. In fact, sometimes the people who have cancer live longer, live longer than all these other options that have been put on. One thing you can do, Harry Hoxsey eventually passed away, I think in the mid-60s. He gave the recipe, that is the herbs he had. He gave the recipe to his head nurse. His head nurse took off and fled the United States and went across the border of Mexico. In fact, the clinic is now in Tijuana, Mexico. And there are people from all around the world who come there. I have a friend that was living in Australia. Her sister was dying of cancer. And we were actually trying to see if we could help her. But she's already too far gone. She couldn't even actually make it on an airplane. But the whole intention was that she was going to go to Tijuana, Tijuana, Mexico, in order to get this particular remedy to try to cure her cancer. So that information is there. It's interesting how the United States, let me say one more thing. It's interesting how the United States always poo-poos everybody as being not free out there, that they've completely brainwashed everybody out there thinking that we're the freest country in the world. When Mexico is allowing this to still take place, and that's been over since probably 65, early 70s. So let's go to the 70s. It's been going on for over 50 years. Well, they're a bad country there, such and such, such and such. While your own country here in America won't let that happen. Won't let it happen. And yes, I know the same friend who went from Australia, went to China. There's more freedom in China than there is here in America, folks, in that point when she went. Okay? So don't believe all what you've been told by some expert, because they're not experts except lying to you, you see. But anyway, I would highly recommend you look into the Spooky 2 machine. It's offered in what I call the Tesla way of looking at things, scalar technology, or the Raymond Rife technology, which is based upon, it's called the Rife's technology, which is frequency deal. And it's called a generator. And it gives out frequencies to us and to eliminate certain things that are going on in our lives that is maybe cancerous or this and that, whatever. So look into the information. I'm not getting paid for this. I don't want any pay. I could care less. All I want is people to heal themselves. I want the system to fall. I want this whole system to come down. I want the medical system that actually causes doctors to practice, who actually a lot of times are doing bad things, and they know it. They know it, but they're doing it because simply they got to have money to feed themselves, you see, or their families, so to speak. So I'm not against doctors, but I'm against the whole system that's so corrupt. That's why. And this whole system has to fall. Not only this system, that with the medical, the whole political system needs to fall. The whole system of money and how it's done to us also needs to fall too. You see, most won't agree with this, but in reality, simply it's just something to help you to understand. Yeah, I get on the diatribe, but that's me. That's who I am. I have a passion for truth. I've always had a passion for truth. I just didn't know it. And so I appreciate you listening to what I shared today, and may you be blessed and have a great day. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.